Effective teacher. Teachers who give regular tests and discuss their outcomes with the students are better teachers than those ones who give fewer tests. By giving tests, it is not meant that every time it has to be a written test. It can be just an oral test, it can be just a formative assignment in which the teacher tries to evaluate the student. So the meaning here is not really giving the actual tests all the time. Instead, by testing students in different ways, in asking short questions, even the teacher can evaluate whether the student is learning or not. There can be different forms of testing and evaluation. There can be formal and informal tests by which the teachers can always find out what learning has taken place. Rather, we all know that on the lesson plan, there is a column in which we try to find out what learning has really taken place after the lesson has been taught. So that can also be considered a test for learning. So it is not necessary that the test should always be exercised in a very formal manner. The basic concept is that the teacher needs to check upon the information and the knowledge that the students have gathered while learning in the learning session or in the classroom. So those teachers who are effective in evaluating the students by using any methods, verbal or written, even by discussion, the teachers can find out how much learning has taken place. In case the teachers are doing formal testing, then only the marks are not important. Rather, the assessment for learning is also important. It is also the responsibility of the teacher to understand how much the student has learned and what are the areas where the student has to work on, and thus provide a feedback session to each and every student so that they would know how to improve in future. Discussion about the test or the evaluation that is being done is also another method to test the student whether he is understanding in which area he has to work on. Also, by discussing, the teacher will come to know what are the apprehensions in the student's mind, what are the things with which the student is concerned, or what are the areas which are disturbing the student, and why the learning is not taking place. So, a frank and honest discussion about evaluation and testing will also help the teacher to understand the reasons why the student is not learning in that particular session. Therefore, testing can be done in different ways, and feedback on that testing should be given to the student along with the marks, because sometimes the students are interested in the marks only. This is a tradition in Pakistani learning system that the students are only interested to know the marks. The reason for that is that the time the child starts his learning from the school, the parents and the teachers and the society are all concerned with the grades and the marks only. So more emphasis is to be put on how to make those marks better, or what are the areas the student needs to work on. So in the testing system, the evaluation system, it is also important to find out what is happening actually in the mind of the student. How is he going to be helped in the weak areas? Which are his strong areas? All these things need to be discussed by the teacher and the student and the parents as well. This type of upbringing would be helpful for the students to understand that it is not only the marks which are important, it is also important to know which are the areas he needs to work on. He also needs to know his strong areas so that he can further develop in that. He also needs to learn what are his aptitudes, which are the areas which best fit according to his learning abilities. So all this discussion would be helping the student to know about his learning capabilities and skills. So therefore, along with the testing and evaluation, it is also important to give a feedback and discuss the areas which need to be improved.